Because right now, I'm working a lot of Tennessee theater capacity, anywhere from like 1,500 to 4,000, but they're adding second and third shows. So I could do arenas in these times. But they're trying to figure out, I've got the most unbelievable touring team that looks at, like, what is she doing in Atlanta, Fox Theater 2? So that's 8,000 tickets. So then next time we'll put her here. So right now, I mean, there's some arenas in this one, but the biggest thing was, all right, I was working a casino in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, and then I was headed down to Hayhira, Georgia to do I still do private events every once in a while, what I have time for, but I was, they work you like a mule. Let me tell you this, when things are hot, those Hollywood people work you like a mule. So they're like, we got to go. So I was going, and they called and they go, okay, Leanne, this is weird, but Reese Witherspoon and Will Ferrell want you to do a table read for a Nick Stoller movie. And I go, what is a table read? I didn't know what they were talking about. And they go, we're going to have to reroute you from Pennsylvania and go out to LA. I was there for less than 24 hours, shaking. Thought, what? And they sent me the script, and they wanted me to read for Reese Witherspoon's big sister. And I went to high school with a boy. I graduated 42 people, and I was in speech and drama. And I just happened to have a lot of talented people in my class to be all these country kids. There was 4 boys that had a little country music band that did pretty well and got a record deal, and then they all dispersed and went to college and got married and all that. But one of them went to Juilliard and is an actor that's been in movies and television. And his daddy was my Methodist minister, and they were dairy farmers. But anyway, I called my David, I grew up with him, and I said, David, what's a table read? And he had to walk me through. And he went, what? You're doing a table read? Yes, I walk into Hello Sunshine, Reese Witherspoon's production company, and they've got bagels and, of course, grain-free things because people in Hollywood don't eat grain. And they had all these producers, Nick Stoller, who did Forgetting Sarah Marshall, Bros, all these wonderful movies. And he's standing there, and his production partner, and all these writers, and all these producers, and then they've got our scripts. And it's elevated like this one down here, and they've got my character, and then people in the back, and it's all these actors and people from Saturday Night Live, and all these, and some people made it, some people got the part, some people didn't. And Will Ferrell walks in, little Reese Witherspoon. All right, Reese and I met at a CMA's after party before COVID. Nobody knew who I was. My friend snuck me in. My shoes were killing me. They were too tight. I met Reba McEntire. Her fanny is the size of my 2 fists. I was going around, and they were like, is she here to dust? But I met little Reese Witherspoon, and we locked eyes, and I said, my mom's had a stroke, because my mom had just had a stroke at Vanderbilt, and she went, what happened to your mom? And she truly wanted to know, and we held on to each other, and we bonded. And so during the pandemic, she started following me, and would say little things, and my people would do like a Jello contest on my social media, what's your favorite Jello salad? She'd pick the pink one, Legally Blonde, and she would message me back and forth, and really shared my podcast at the time, and very sweet to me. But that's where it left it. And then so she's the one that said, I bet she could play my sister, and she knew I had a Netflix special coming out. So I read for that thing, and I think I did some things well. Some things I think I sounded like, hello, my name is Leanne, and I am going. But anyway, I laughed, and I didn't even know how to read a script. Like, I didn't know, because they say, the door's open, the lights are on, da-da-da. I didn't even know, am I supposed to say that? Who is saying that? But anyway, I get in the car, and I go to the airport, and I think, you know what, God, I know it's up to you, whatever you want. I don't know. This is crazy. Get on a plane next to Machine Gun Kelly. I text my kids and I go, I think I'm next to Machine Gun Kelly. I was on my way to Atlanta, then had to get in a rental car, drive myself to a town called Hayhira, Georgia, which they were precious. But and Tess goes, no way, Mom, he doesn't fly commercial. I go, well, does he have a size 16 shoe and he's got things hanging out of his eyebrows? I think this is Machine Gun Kelly. And it was. I said to him, I go, because I was sitting right next to him, I said, Megan Fox is from Oak Ridge, and I'm from Knoxville, Tennessee, and I can't believe that her body looks like that with 3 little babies. He goes, oh my gosh, I'm going to tell her you said that. That'll make her feel good. And I thought, does Megan Fox have low self-esteem? Do I need to mother her? But anyway, and I said, I just did a table read with Will Ferrell and Reese Witherspoon. And he went, what? That's sick. And he was doing a cameo at a film in Atlanta, because so much is filmed in Atlanta, and he was reading for that. Anyway, I bonded with Machine Gun Kelly. Anyway, it was just a crazy, like 48 hours, and I drove down to Hayhira, Georgia, and they were darling, and I just, the whole time thinking, there's no way I'm getting that. There's no way that I'm going to get that. And like 2 weeks go by, and I'm on the road, and I think I land in Evansville, Indiana. And I get an Uber with a little mama who's driving Uber, and I put my foot in a dirty diaper. And my agent calls and says, "You got it." And you could tell he was just as shocked. I mean, they were all, because now I got like 25 people, on different management, and they were all going, "Oh my Lord, Leanne, you got it." And so they had to move I already started my new tour, Just Getting Started tour, a whole new 100-city tour, which, let me say this, Vanity Fair has partnered with me, because I was talking about my panties. Vanity Fair sent me a bunch of panties and bras, loved them. And they said, "We would like to partner with you to help women get started in whatever they want to do." So they have got these like scholarships, seed money, and so many women have applied and are, if they want to, go back to college, if they want to start a business, if they want to be a yoga instructor, whatever, in this age in their life, if they want to, anybody, 30 to, I don't even know if they've got an age limit on it, but if they want to get started with something in their life, because it's never too late, and they look at me and think, who would have thought this would happen to me? And I'm 57 years old. And so the Just Getting Started, I named it that because I feel like I'm just getting started. And so they wanted to partner with me to give women money to get things. Is that not the sweetest thing you've ever? So we're going to, during this tour, there will be stops like Sugar Land, Texas, I think, and maybe Nashville at the Ryman. They're going to bring these women up, and we're going to tell their story and give them money to get started. I know. This is all so much sweeter and more special than anything. It's more than comedy. It really is. It makes me want to cry. I get out there and I look out, and they stand up and give me a standing ovation before I've ever started. They blow me kisses. There's women holding signs that say, "I just got through chemo. I'm now just getting started." It's just a lot. It's better and sweeter than anything I could have imagined. And it's not about me. It's really not about me, and I know that. It is about them feeling heard, joy, and feeling, like somebody speaking to them. And I'm just very lucky that I got to be the one, to break through maybe on Netflix, for maybe more acts that are like me, or, that are just these, female comedians out in the middle of the United States, that talk about just normal things. But anyway, I didn't mean to get off of that tangent. No. So I get this movie, and now, of course, writer's strike is on and SAG strikes, but we got it wrapped before that ever happened, and I shot in Atlanta, and I had a ball. I didn't know what I was doing. Reese is the size of this Apple Watch, and I feel like I held her like a baby by the time it was over, because she's so tired. She's got so much on her. She doesn't look tired. I mean, I think she is human. She gets tired, but you talk about somebody going and doing, and her mind working the whole time. You can tell that little thing is brilliant, and her mind's working the whole time. Like, this could be a business. This could be and raising a family, and I mean, it's unbelievable. She's unbelievable, but precious. Lifted me up. Like, "Leanne, you can do this. She believed in me and wanted to lift me up." I know. Precious. Very kind spirit. I was very intimidated. He made me feel like you deserve to be here. It was precious. And we hope to do more things in the future, talking about, hopefully when this strike's over, about doing more. But his middle child was on set and for a little while, and just a sweet kid. And you can tell he's been raised sweet. And they're just very kind people. It's all there is to it. Nick Stoller, precious to me. I think I said a couple of times, I was so intimidated. "Do y'all want me to dust this set? Do you want me to vacuum?" Because they built it's unbelievable what they do. And they were like, "No, Leanne, we don't need you to dust." But I just felt so, like this is what I feel like. And my second showrunner for my second sitcom deal was Matt Williams, that created Roseanne and Home Improvement, who we have stayed close friends. Our show didn't make it, but you talking about somebody, one of the most prolific people in television history. And he was from, I think he was raised in Evansville, Indiana, and didn't come from money or anything like that. And all this happened for him, and now he gives to so much charity. He builds schools in Haiti, and he has a board of people that run all that money. And he said, "This is what I feel like. like, and I know exactly what he means. You know, when you go to the county fair or the Tennessee fair and you can play games and there's a little ducks in the water and it's got a number on the bottom of it and you pick up, if you get the right number, you get a big old stuffed animal. I feel like God has said, picked up this duck and said, it's you, Leanne.
It's your
turn. You. You win. I mean, because Abby, I'm telling you, after doing comedy for 23 years, and I didn't think I would get emotional, but you know, you're my friend, and we've known each other a long time. But I think this hitting for me in my 50s, because I just watched Bert Kreischer at 50 get the Standup Comedian of the Year award in Just for Laughs Comedy Festival, and there were people from The Office there, and there were movie stars there, and they were giving these awards, and he cried so hard he could not get his breath. He could barely get out a thank you, and he and I talked about it afterwards. This hitting at this age, I think you realize how few people make it in show business. You know, it's like professional athletes. Like, kids grow up and I'm going to be in the NFL. How many people make it to the NFL? It's like that, and I think I appreciate it so much more because I know how this is so unusual, and I'm so lucky, and I'm not the most talented, and I'm not all that, but I have been given this at this point in my life. After getting to raise my children, I got to have both worlds. You know, a lot of people in Hollywood don't. You know, a lot of women don't have children because they're trying to work on their career and all that, but I got to do that. I got to raise them, and I didn't raise them in LA, and they're who they're supposed to be. You know, they wouldn't have, if those television shows had made it, they would not be the people they are today. So that was God's protection over me. But I realized that with this happening to me at this point in my life, what a gift. And if this had happened to me at 30, and I had to sustain this, or I was not right in my head then, I could not have, I don't think I would have appreciated it. I think I would have, who knows what would have happened to me. I don't know. My kids wouldn't have been the same. This was the best timing. It was God's timing, and it was so much better than what I thought. I thought I was going to hit it, these sitcoms in my, at 40 when I was younger and thinner. And it just wasn't, I was not ready. It was not supposed to happen. And this was the best thing that could have ever happened, this timing. I've got, more of those cities this fall. It's 65 shows between August, December. I have a book coming out next year called What in the World. That will be another tour, they think. If I find a nurse to go with me with an IV sac. Then, I hope television and movies, they're telling me that. I liked it. And me growing up in the 80s, 70s and 80s, to me, when I got started, I thought, in my mind, a sitcom star. That's the Ray Romano, Roseanne, all that was my idea, Tim Allen, of success. Now, television's changed so much. Mm-hmm. Network television, people, they don't, it's also diluted and split up because of streaming and all that. So, I would like to do a television series. I think I want to do movies.
You got the bug.
I think I got the bug. And then they talk to me about voiceover, stuff, and I think, oh, my voice is not pretty, but there's something about it that must be trustworthy. So maybe that kind of stuff, but yeah, the touring's going well. They act like that's just going up, praise God. Who knows what's going to happen? If it all stopped tomorrow, I've got 2 grandbabies, 3 precious children. I've had a ball. I never, this is, anything from here on is icing on the cake, because it has been so much sweeter and better than anything I ever dreamed of. If honey, I need to buy a motel in Townsend and get a cheese wheel, and dazzle, have maybe a little mercantile, have, things you can camp with, food items, pancake mix, redo a little motel. There's a swimming pool, little diner. That's always my backup, because I waited tables here in Knoxville at the Grady's. That's where I met Chuck Morgan, where he started stalking me. I've always loved food service. I always thought, I could have a hot dog stand. I always thought I could pop popcorn at NASCAR. I've always thought that was a fun job. I've got backup, is what I'm saying.
Hey,
I've got other things I could do. And I hope that you look at me in the eyes and receive this. When I was your age, I thought, time is passing by. Yes, and it's not. And when you look, and I need to think that at my age, because when I get to be 70-something, I'll go, man, you were a beauty at 57. heaven, Leanne.
You looked great.
Your fanny wasn't that bad. You should have been wearing tiny little hateful, evil panties. No, I will never go back to a tiny evil panty. Unless it's something, biblical happening at home that needs to happen for Chuck Morgan. But I hope you realize this is a wonderful time, my darling. I know you got alone, you got a bunch of little children, and you're going to wake up one day and you're not going to be in that car with anybody, but you're safe. But I remember just being in a car all the time, and there was a lot of snacks, a lot of crying. But that'll go by, and so I know you're taking advantage of every day, but you have to live every day and find the joy in it that day, And 52 will come, and there will be some hot flashes, and there will be some, what is happening to me. But that's all good too. See, I got 2 grandbabies now. You talking about yummy. And I worship my children, and I'm in love with them. This is a whole nother love. My 2.5-year-old said to me the other day, I was in my gown, and he was walking me up my stairs. He's 2.5, and he went, "Hold on, grandmama." And I thought, he thinks I'm feeble. But I don't care. I was just like, I hope he thinks I'm Mariah Carey, and my feet can't touch the ground. But anyway, I'm having a ball with them. Yeah, it's all wonderful, my darling.